reporting for the Intermountain Christian News. I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here at the White House. Some key issues to bring up here at the White House today are regarding anti-Semitism, especially the rise of anti-Semitism in light of the recent Palestinian terrorist outbreak on the Temple Mount, and previous to that was the Palestinian terrorism of the Palestinian Authority, killing many Israelis, so many people injured. So Biden is headed over to Israel. He's going over there to, some believe, try to save Bennett, who's the current prime minister, that's Naftali Bennett, to help Bennett in this crisis with Palestinian terrorists. So eager to see what will happen with that. I'm here at the White House to bring up these very key questions about anti-Semitism. And there are many forms of anti-Semitism, that being the issue of the two-state solution and to divide Israel, and dealing with defunding Palestinian Authority that uses their money for a pay-for-slave program, and in violation of the Taylor Force Act. Other forms of terrorism, or you might say anti-Semitism as well, would be conversations with Iran and BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions of Israeli products, funding of anti-Semitic UN agency UNRWA, and not speaking out condemning the desecration of the Jewish cemetery in Vilnius, Lithuania, and not supporting and protecting that cemetery by restoring it to its former glory. Jan?
Go ahead.
I have a question here about following the recent Palestinian terror attacks from the Temple Mount and previous week of attacks that have killed many Israelis and wounded more. Is the Biden administration reconsidering its support of the Palestinian Authority's two-state solution dividing Israel, or stopping the welfare payments sent to the Palestinian Authority, who use the money for their pay-to-slave reward system? And I have a follow-up question.
Okay, well, I would just note that I spoke to this last week on Wednesday, where I noted that the United States is deeply concerned by the recent violence in Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount, and across the West Bank, and we also strongly condemn the recent rocket attack on Israel. You may or may not have seen also that the President conducted a call with Prime Minister Bennett on Sunday morning. He accepted an invitation by Prime Minister Bennett to visit Israel in the coming months, no specific date yet. He took note of the ongoing efforts between Israeli and Palestinian officials to lower tensions and ensure a peaceful conclusion to the holy season of Ramadan. And he also affirmed our unwavering support for Israel and its defense needs, and welcomed the historic $1 billion allocation to replenish Israel's Iron Dome system.
The follow-up is, in view of continued Palestinian violence against innocent civilians, is the Biden administration willing to stop payments to the anti-Semitic UN agency UNRWA and support restoring the Jewish cemetery in Vilnius, Lithuania to its former glory?
Again, I think I don't have any changes to announce to our policy. I spoke to our condemnation of the violence just now, last week as well, and noted also our call to the Prime Minister. Go ahead.
We read news every day. News that's informative, but rarely encouraging. The Intermountain Christian newspaper aims to change that. They present the news you need to know, from what's going on in your community to your world, with encouraging words, motivation, and the resources you need to make positive changes in your life. What is your local government doing that you need to know about? What's happening in your community you need to be a part of? Whether it's a story from your neighborhood, a national story, or an encouraging word, you'll find biblical issues of everyday life in the Intermountain Christian newspaper. Intermountain Christian News is produced and supported by the work and donations of individuals and churches. You'll find it at churches, Christian bookstores, by subscription, and online at imcnews.org. To find out more about supporting this local resource, go online at imcnews.org or call Intermountain Christian News in Boise, Idaho at 208-703-8688. The Intermountain Christian News, a voice sharing the truth on matters dear to people's hearts.